Rev up your engines. Here we have a Mazda Miata, and as you can hear, it's running like crap. We start it up. Rev it up. Obviously something's wrong. You can hear it misfiring in the back. And we look under the hood. Well, somebody closed the headlights on the stay, so we're gonna have to open the headlight. Now we can open the hood, tap the throttle. Doesn't accelerate right. So let's start with the basics. Spark plug wires are on. Let's make sure they're connected correctly. Now the wires are on, but according to my old data, as you can see, here's how they're set up. It's supposed to be 4, 1, 2, 3 on the coil pack. Now here's the coil pack. This is supposed to be 4. It's on the wrong one. This is supposed to be 4, which is over here. This is supposed to be 1. It's on 2. So we'll put 1 here. This is supposed to be 4, which is this one. This is supposed to be 2, number 2. And this one's supposed to be number 3 on the end. Now we'll double check them. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, number 1's in the front, then 2, number 2, and number 3. Now let's see what happens. So let's try to start it. Well, as you can see, it runs even worse now. So something's wrong. We don't trust anybody now because I looked it up on another site and it says it's different. It says that the number 3 is supposed to be on the end, the next one's supposed to be 2, the next one's supposed to be 1, and the last one's supposed to be 4. So let's put it that way. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. 3's supposed to be this one. You already go on because it's a cheap wire set. Don't buy cheap wire sets. This one came with cheap wire sets. It's a really cheap set. Doesn't even have a name on it. I don't even know what brand it is. But at least now we have number 3 here. So 3's on the end. Then the next one goes down here, which is number 2. Now we'll go back here. Here's number 2. Put number 2 on. Then the next one goes down as number 1. So this is number 1. And the last one is number 4. It's the only one left. So now let's see what happens. Here we go again. As you can see now, it's running decently. And what's the moral of the story? I used a reputable data system and it let me down. I would have thought, man, there's something really squirrely with this car. They gave the wrong data. And I know they got the right year because you look at the sticker, 1990 model. Now I looked up on all data, even 89, 90, 91. For every engine in these Miatas, it stated the other one was a firing order, which is completely incorrect. And of course, there's nothing worse than being fooled by a data system. Give you the wrong information, then you think, what could possibly be wrong? Something's really squirrely. I put it all together the way they said. Well, in this case, the data system was wrong. Always check various data systems. Don't rely on any one exclusively, or you might be going down the wrong way for a long time in your attempt to repair a car. Let's take it for a ride. We'll see if it's gone back to being a fun little sports car. Here we go. Yes, it is. Now, they're not race cars by any stretch of the imagination, but they're fun little zippy cars to play around in. You can have a lot of fun in one of these Miatas, and you can get them used dirt cheap. This particular one was a donation car. Somebody donated to a charity, and then they sold it. Now, something as dumb as having the spark plug wires put on wrong, it's gonna make your car run like crap. And yeah, this particular one has a door from another Miata in it, but it actually came with these cool chrome plated roll bar assembly. It really is nice. And let's face it, it's a small car. Not much to paint if you want to repaint it, or keep it as a rat car toy for just driving around and having fun. Smaller cars, these tires that are brand new, they didn't cost much. Of course, when you get a car like this, you'll notice the air conditioner doesn't even have a pulley on it anymore. Ooh, I can barely turn it. It may or may not work, but don't expect working AC on a car that's 32 years old. Convertible top. That's the air conditioning. You can have a lot of fun with these 5-speed standard transmissions, but unless you want a dead turd for a car, don't buy one of these with an automatic. The old automatics back in the day, they were horrendous. The Mazda automatics were absolutely terrible. They broke all the time. They had no acceleration with them. This is not a high horsepower engine. With the standard, it's a lot of fun. With an automatic, it's a dog dead in the middle of the road. They're no fun with an automatic transmission. Now, the later model ones, that's different. They've gone into all kinds of electronically controlled transmissions. They work perfectly fine. But these old ones that you get dirt cheap, you'll want to get a standard transmission. And of course, realize with these Miatas, there is an insane aftermarket of low-priced parts you can get. You can customize it as much or as little as you want. These double overhead cam engines, if you keep changing the oil in them, they're pretty indestructible. Just remember, the old ones have rubber timing belts to save yourself a lot of hassle. You got one with a timing belt, you don't know the history, you buy it used, change it right away. Once you put a new one on, generally they'll go 60 to 100,000 miles trouble-free. So do that if you're buying a used one as your first bit of repair. Then you get inside the engine anyways, you can see is the water pump leaking, any of the cam seals leaking, and you can fix anything that could be wrong. Because you got a 32-year-old car, things are gonna go wrong. Seals cost peanut money. Engines cost a lot. Check it all out after you buy it. Change the belt. Now, if it has a chain, you don't have to do anything except changing the oil. But that's not until later model ones. And of course, the advantage of these older ones are, look, no ABS system. You don't have to deal with all that computer crap. And if you're handier than the average guy or gal, they sold over 1 million of these. There's tons of them in junkyards. You get one that's got smashed door like this one had, you can get a door pretty cheap. There's so many interchangeable parts on these things that for many years, wheels, tires, doors, hoods, trunks, you can interchange a bunch of the parts. You want to go aftermarket, put scoops and stuff on it, go ahead. There's lots of cheap stuff out there. And since it's such a small car with a convertible top, you don't have to paint the roof, it's a convertible top. So painting them isn't that much work. Maybe you want to give yourself a try at painting cars. It's the perfect car to buy to learn how to do stuff on. We learned today, one, don't trust anybody with information, except old Scotty here, because the data systems might be wrong. Double and triple check it. Something as simple as cheap spark plug wires that aren't connected in tight enough can make your car run bad. I would never buy these cheap wires. They don't even have a name on them. At least get Bosch wires or something, or original equipment ones. You won't have that problem. They fit exactly. These are more or less a universal cheap set, and I personally tried them for customers years ago to try to save money, and they bit me in the rear end, of course. When I'd come back a day or a week later and say, oh, it's running like crap again, what did you do? I realized I'm not buying those cheap crappers anymore. I'm going to buy quality wires. They don't cost that much more. So you pay 20, 30 bucks more. Is it really worth the headache of spending days trying to figure out what's wrong, only to find out the parts that you bought weren't any good? Don't get stuck like that. I did once, it's never going to happen to me again. I learned my lesson. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Missum32 says, what's wrong with this thing? I got an 07 Hyundai Sonata with 80,000 kilometers. It gets P0454. I took it to the dealership and they said they fixed it. What could it be? Okay, well that is a stupid evap leak system code. Your gas evaporates in the tank, makes fumes, and they used to vent it to the atmosphere, but now it has to go through the evap system where it's either filtered through the charcoal canister and pure air comes out, or it's sent back into the engine intake manifold and is burnt. Because it's gasoline fumes, it will burn perfectly fine. You got a problem in that system. Now, they're very complex systems. I mean, you might try a gas cap. A lot of times the evap canister vent valves go bad. Try changing that, but they're very complex systems. The only way you can test them is find a guy like me with a dual control computer that can test them, open them, close them, and then shows the data of what's actually happening. They're very complex systems. On the other hand, it's just a stupid anti-pollution code. If it runs fine, I've had people live with them for years that way. The only hassle is you got to get it inspected. If you live in an area where they inspect cars for emissions, it would fail because of that stupid code. Generally, it's not really going to hurt anything. And if they said they fixed it, truth is, that's anti-pollution thing. If they said they fixed it, take it in and make them fix it. Because if they don't fix something like that, it's a $30,000 fine for allowing emissions stuff to go on. So tell them you know the law. And they'll generally try to fix it a little bit harder when they know, you can call the cops on them, get the Department of Motor Vehicles to send a guy over. They can be fined $30,000 for saying they fixed something that they didn't when it has to do with anti-pollution controls. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.